You want the physique of your dreams. You want the wide shoulders, you want the big biceps, you want the small waist, but you've convinced yourself that you don't have enough time to do so. If you have 2 hours per week, I guarantee you have enough time to build a good physique. And in this video, I hope to accomplish 3 things. First, I'm going to break that limiting belief of yours. Second, I'm going to show you that it is possible for you to build this physique training 2 to 4 hours per week. And lastly, I'm going to give you the program, the one you see right over here. I'm going to give you the program for free. It's going to be in the description. If you want to skip to that part, you can go to the description. It's right there. Okay, but who am I to give advice? My name is Muhammad. I'm a full-time college student and I run a business helping busy entrepreneurs reach their fitness goals in just 2 hours per week. So my schedule sometimes gets pretty packed, but okay, why don't you have your goal physique right now? It's because you've been taking advice from people who have made the gym their life. They live on eat, sleep, gym, repeat, and then they teach people to do the same. But you're different. You're not like the people they're trying to market to. You are busy. You have responsibilities. You have a life outside of the gym, as you're supposed to. The gym is supposed to complement your life. It's not supposed to take it over. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to train 3 to 4 times per week, and you're going to be following a minimalist program. I've made one for you in the description. I've made 2 different types of minimalist programs, upper, lower, and I've made full body. Pick whichever suits you, doesn't matter. But let me show you how that works exactly. Okay, so before anything, you have to understand what muscle protein synthesis is, aka MPS. To understand any of this, you'll need to know what muscle protein synthesis is. It's essentially your body's process of building new muscle cells, building new muscle tissue, building new muscle protein, hence the name muscle protein synthesis. Synthesis means production. So it's caused by 2 things. First is growth of new muscle cells, okay? But there's one more, repair. And that's very important to understand in this context. Why? You can see that doing 1 set will spike muscle protein synthesis by 130 to 150%, right? But doing 3 sets is doing it by 210%. Are 3 sets that much better than 1? Not necessarily. You see this delayed recovery, this delayed return to baseline? That is because there's far more muscle damage occurring when you do 3 sets. So what can we do to counteract that? We're going to take advantage of the quick recovery over here. You can see that over here we're recovered by 36 hours. Here we're pushing 72, meaning we can do 1 to 2 sets far more often than doing 3 sets. If you do 3 sets, you can maybe train twice a week for a muscle group if you're pushing really hard. This is in the context of training to failure, by the way. So if you're doing light sets where you're not pushing close to failure, you don't have to worry about this. You can just move on. The easiest way to do this is to record yourself working out. You're not trying to see your form, so the angle doesn't matter. You just need to see if your arms are slowing down involuntarily. You're not intentionally doing this. It's unintentional. It's just happening on its own. Your arms are going to slow down. The reps aren't as fast. Let's say rep 1 took 1 second, rep 10 is taking 3 seconds. This kind of pertains to the 80-20 rule, where 80% of the progress you make in almost anything will come from 20% of the process. So now that you understand this, we can get to muscle protein synthesis and protein. So if you're undershooting your protein, you're likely not going to get all this 150%, not all this 210%. If you're overshooting it, you're going to get the maximum one. You can't really get anything past that. But generally 30 to 40 grams per meal is the ideal zone. It's the zone where you're getting most of your muscle growth, if not all of it. Split that into 2 to 5 chunks, you're going to have a solid base of protein. You don't need more protein than that. Generally, throughout the day, you want to aim for about 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight, or if you want to do kilograms, it'll be 2 to 2.2 grams per kilogram body weight. I'm once again going to emphasize that growth and repair are 2 different mechanisms, okay? Muscle damage does not cause muscle growth, neither is it the other way around. So we can train more often. We can run a high frequency program. Over here you see 2 different splits. We have an upper rest, lower rest, upper rest, full body rest. This is in the description, by the way, so if you want to follow along with what I'm saying, just go to the description, open it. It's free of charge, don't worry. Second program is full body rest, full body rest, rest, full body rest. Both of these hit each muscle group 3 to 4 times per week, depending on the muscle group, okay? Wait, shit, that's an ugly ass 3. Now you're probably thinking, there's so much here, and you're saying it'll take 2 hours per week? Yes, open the program. But we are, however, going to discuss how this applies over here. So, every time you train, you're going to have a spike in muscle protein synthesis. And of course, during the rest day, that's going to go down. But over here, we're going to do one more set. So it'll spike, not much, but it's something. And then it's going to go down again, up again. We're going to pretend this is only for one muscle group because, of course, you're going to have different MPS spikes for different muscle groups. But yeah, you train that muscle group again here, goes down. And if you decide to do this optional workout, it goes up again. You can see the frequency here is what matters. You're not letting it go to the trough because the truth is when it goes down to this trough, you're gonna experience muscle loss. There is no such thing as muscle maintenance. You can either lose muscle or gain muscle. There is no in between. To understand muscle growth, it's also important to understand minimum effective dose, high efficiency dose, and maximum dose. The minimum effective dose given training to failure is 2 to 4 sets. You do 2 to 4 sets, you'll put on about 60 to 70% of your muscle. 5 to 6 sets is where you get close to around 80 to 90% of your muscle. And then 8 to 12 sets is where you completely cap that off. So you can see the graph, if drawn, will look like this. It's diminishing returns. That is true for everything in life. So now you're equipped with the knowledge. Now you're equipped with the program itself. I gave it to you free of charge. If you still choose not to train, if you still choose to say that you don't have enough time, that is something that's on you. It really depends on the kind of man you are. It really depends on the kind of discipline you have, how bad you want this. However, if you still have any questions for me, you can just leave it in the comment or you can DM me on Instagram directly. I'll reply.